Why are you watching my page? Why are you watching my page? You ain't liking nothing, you're not doing nothing. Delete yourself. Delete yourself. Hello everybody, my name's Paris.
Hi, I'm Selena.
And we are
Love Uncut.
Yeah. So Selena, can you just give the camera a little tour of your new hair? Because you just got your hair done today.
I don't know what song I'm humming, but I feel like Ariel at the moment because it's red. I feel like this is my Disney sort of dream.
Yeah, I mean,
to life.
I know she's a bit of a controversial character, not Ariel, but Jessica Rabbit. But that's who comes to my mind.
Hey, I'm not complaining. Although some feminists will probably be quite angry at me for saying that. Because she's like the sexualized cartoon version of the like ideal woman, isn't she? What we're told is the ideal woman, the big boobs, the shapely figure, but still skinny with a flat stomach and the, you know, vixen kind of hair and come to bed eyes. Yeah,
I don't mind a cartoon being like that. It's just people like on Instagram, you know, idolizing.
But that's kind of where it all comes from, right?
Yeah, but with a cartoon, I can at least say it's not real life. Do you know what I mean? So.
But you grew up watching that cartoon.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people fancied her.
Oh yeah. She's hot, man. Of course you're gonna fancy her. Even I fancy her.
Yeah, but this is not that episode about that. But I just wanted to, you know, give some time and appreciation to your new hair because that is, you know, one of the perks of this recent lockdown 3 releasing. You know, non-essential situations can happen.
To be fair, yeah, this appointment was meant to happen back in December, so I've waited, and you know, I'm enjoying my treat.
Yeah. And you know, let's kick this off though. I mean, this episode isn't really about the lockdown easing, not really, because it's a developing story. We feel like we want to let it mature a little bit before we touch on that. This is an episode with us just discussing, is it wrong to expect your friends to support you? From the perspective of you've launched something, you know, you've launched something and you're feeling entitled to their support. This is quite a common thing you see on social media in different forms. If nobody supports you, then so are people wrong? So yeah, I don't know, do you want to kick this off about your feelings about, you know, feeling entitled to have friends support?
Right. I'm trying to like take all the sort of emotion out of this and think of what I have done for people. So when it comes to people sort of sharing stuff they've done online, so whether they've launched a little business or they're doing like freelance things or, you know, whatever, something like that, as you say, they're selling a product or a service and it's available for people to buy and they're sharing it with people online. It's kind of 50-50. Some people I've supported and I've bought, and then other people, if I've seen the post at kind of the wrong time, like when I've been really busy with work or I'm sleepy or I don't have much money or I'm trying to save, then I won't support from a financial point of view, but I'll like the post or I'll tell someone who's maybe looking for that product or service, oh yeah, I saw this the other day, have a look. And there are a lot of groups that I follow on Facebook that are about sort of helping the smaller business and buying independent or buying from, you know, black owned brands, which is important, and women,
specific groups.
Sort of all those kind of minority groups that don't really get maybe the best exposure and a kind of don't have enough money to do the whole marketing spend and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, my friends I do tend to buy from. I'm not going to say I've bought from everyone though, just because maybe the timing wasn't right. Yeah. So from my point of view, I don't think it's a must that you have to buy from your friend's business, because maybe, as I said, the timing isn't right, they don't have money, whatever. But there are other ways that you can support, so you can share the business, or you can tell people about it. All of that is free. It takes what, like 2 minutes. It's not difficult to do. And I guess from the point of view of having worked on launching something ourselves, you actually really do rely on that initial bubble of family and friends to get you through sort of the launch period, right? So
yeah, I mean YouTube, you know, YouTube as well, especially. Yeah.
So looking back on maybe the people that I didn't support in the financial way, I'm like, oh, you know, drat, I wish that I had, because I can now see how much they went through to launch that brand, to build that website, to, you know, sow whatever they sowed, or make whatever they made, or, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy coming up with what your brand is, or writing all the copy, or
it feels lonely. So when you're kind of out there, you're like, oh wow, it's cold out here, it's lonely. You're going against the status quo, I guess, of having a job. In many senses.
Especially if you're doing it by yourself. Like, we've kind of worked together, which at some moments has been great. At other moments we've had completely different opinions, and we'd had to work through that. So imagine being by yourself and not having someone to support you when you're struggling with something, or bounce ideas off of, to kind of reach that optimal point. It's hard. But anyway, that's a tangent.
Yeah, a little bit.
The point is, I think that whilst you shouldn't rely and put that pressure on your friends and family to support you, and they shouldn't feel that pressure, in black and white terms, maybe the grey area is, but as they are your friends and family, they should want to support you.
Yeah, because I think, you know, principally, when the way I see it is very similar to you, to be honest. You expect, as a prerequisite for a actual friendship, that person wants you to progress and thrive in all arenas of your life. You know, they want you to have a healthy, happy relationship. They want you to get that promotion. They want you to try and go and be and do, you know, this blog you're doing, this business, this YouTube.
And they should celebrate it with you when it happens.
Right, yes, exactly. And I feel like the celebration only really happens consistently from friends when it's something that they too can access and participate in,
or benefit from.
Yes, generally speaking, because I've been there from very young, you know, being a musician. Basically my first market was my peers, my songs, you know. So I've been there where you've had this flat response, and that was basically the story of my life, you know, in terms of my music. My music really only did well from people that I don't know. You know, one of my songs got put on a video game, for example, and the same,
so cool.
Same people that I know.
We'll put the name.
Yeah, same people that I know didn't really care. So I've been there, I've been through all these emotions, and I've, you know, pushed through and not taken my friends' opinions as gospel, and then just try to find other arenas. And yes, the internet is a balancer. I've been there where it's like, oh yes, I literally did the game thing. Hey, someone put my song on a game, and it just got blue ticks. Do you know what I'm saying? From this friend who would call themselves my boy, your bro, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you're like, hey, you know, you're like, hey, and then the room's just flat. Just, can you imagine that? So,
but you know what? That shouldn't, whilst it's hard, I suppose, because you expect your friend is gonna celebrate with you and be as excited as you. Maybe it just shows that at the end of the day, like, human beings are just wretched. You know, there are very few people who like, your win is their win. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, your mum can be put in that bracket sometimes, but not even all the time.
I think there are friends like that. Like, yeah, maybe not when I was younger. Now being a bit older, there are definitely, you know, I have very few friends, but the few friends I have, they're amazing. And, well, in respect of congratulations and celebrations, yes. And I think maybe, is that more important than financial support? I don't know. Maybe this
is my thing. I think I took it that extra step further. Like, this so-called friend didn't even help me get my song on the game.
Right.
So I didn't even ask you for anything except for a clap. So I probably took it a bit further than what we're discussing right now. But you know, principally, I would say that if you pass a driving test and you post it on Facebook, loads of likes.
Yeah.
If you're getting married, if you're having a baby, people are gonna like the hell out of your posts.
Babies are cute.
Yeah, no, I get it. But to me, those three things, the undercurrent is those are things that people.
Or if you get a new job. Generally, or is that
new job-ish, yeah.
Engaged, same as
thing.
marriage, yeah.
So it's things that your friends can access, and there's no limit on this. I wouldn't say that best friends are different from friends. It's all the same umbrella. Because they too can potentially get married one day, have a job, have a baby, you know, all these things. They're all for it. But anything outside of that bracket, it's just cold. It's cold out here. You know, it's going to be very touch and go whether you're going to get a thumbs up, let alone financial support. So that's just a real lived experience, and just understand that only 1% of your current friendship group will actually financially support you, and then maybe 5% will be there to like everything you do.
It's a hard one because, like, especially for Paris is someone who is like the number one supporter of people. Like, you're always sort of sharing people's initiatives, you're there to sort of encourage them on, you want other people to like big up, you know, your friends when they like, you share things, you're supporter, you buy, like he supports so many new businesses in terms of actual finance, you know, people you don't even know that you've heard about, you buy their stuff. So I think maybe for you, because you're like, you are that guy, you are that 1%, right? It's harder to understand when other people don't do that, when it's not reciprocal.
But the way I see it is that, you know, you support people without expecting anything back.
Yeah.
But if I give you 100% and you can't even give me 10% though, that's when there's a problem, because support does look different in different ways. Like you said, it's not necessarily buying, which is probably what I would call 100% support is financial support. Sharing though is probably half of that, a quarter of that, because it's free. I know you see my stuff, and vice versa, you know. So then if you can't engage on that level either, then why are you here? Just, you know, because I get the sense, I mean, there was a meme where a guy was like, why are you watching my page? Why are you watching my page? You ain't liking nothing, you're not doing nothing. Delete yourself. Delete yourself. You know, and then, you know, and I was like, I can get what you're saying, because it induces anxiety to know people just watching and waiting. But what for? You're not engaging in anything, you know, and yet...
Yeah, but everyone likes to watch everyone else. That's the whole premise of social media, right? You're looking at what everyone else is up to, and sometimes you comment or you like or whatever, share things, but other times it's mostly people just watching. Do you know what I mean? People just taking it in. And
creepy.
It's almost like I'm just checking what everyone else is up to, or maybe you're just bored, you know, and you can get lost just scrolling for hours, can't you, on social media, just literally watching other people.
This is your friend. This is your friend. You just have to have that caveat. And you know, these same people, they will call themselves a friend as well. So I personally think friendship is 360. I don't think it's about a convenient time. When it's convenient to support in this, I'll do it, but otherwise not. You know, I think it does extend from the ground up. If someone says, you know what, I'm going to become a gardener tomorrow, then, and you're their friend, then yes, you will at least like a post, you will share. I think that if you want to say you don't want to support, and you shouldn't have to, and that's entitlement, then please don't be surprised when your friendship dilutes. Because I think in life, all we want to do is actualize, you know, self-actualize, which means just reach that inner potential, and you want to build. You want to build principally with a romantic partner. You want your family to build, and your friends, you want to build there. So the best relationships in life are about growth, which means you're doing new things, you know, uncertain new things that no one else has caught on to yet, and building. So if your friend wants you to remain the exact same person in the exact same space that you were in when you met them because it makes them feel comfortable about the idea that they had of you, it's not your friend. But unfortunately, in modern life, these people will call themselves your friend, your best friend, your brother, your sister, and you'll have community in other respects. You'll be from the same area, same religion, same diet, could be both vegan or whatever. You'll have community in other respects, but when it really comes down to the crunch and action, not just talk or I happen to be around you for no reason, very, very, very few people. So yeah, ultimately I define my relationships at this point in time with around who I can build with, not who I can just chill with. I think on the P. Diddy, I need a girl. He said I need somebody I can build with, I need somebody I can chill with. It's not wrong to expect that from friends. I mean, I want to take it even further, because when the lockdown affected my place of work,
okay, oh gosh,
and my place of work went into administration, I got texts from friends, people that would call me friends, we call each other friend, even people that would call me brother or sister. Texts, you know.
And they're concerned about your welfare, yeah.
Yeah, I saw the news, you know, oh crap, your job, crap. And one of them even went as far to say, well, they said, how's your financial situation? But then again, they're using that friend privilege to ask that, right? In my opinion, because you wouldn't ask a stranger.
But I just find that a weird thing to ask anyway. That's a very specific thing to ask. Surely you just say, oh, I'm really sorry to hear about what happened. I hope you're okay. You know, if you're on the lookout for a job, let me know. I'll see if there's anything in my company. Like helpful things and things not. Why do you? I don't think it's anyone's place to ask about your finances. As a friend, if we're friends, you'll already know how I am financially. Do you know what I mean?
Roughly, yeah. And we need practical advice, not just observation. We've gotten into this place with modern relationships when all we do is observe and look. You can see who's looked and not act. You just want to look like, yo, this ain't the Truman Show. Do you know what I'm saying?
But then that is social media.
But you also want to ask me questions about my pain or my strife, and then just watch me have an issue, you know? Like, you just want to, do you need help? And I go, yes. So you just go, oh, I wasn't expecting it to get this far.
Well, I think this is the thing. When people ask if they can help, it's usually just sort of a rhetorical question almost. And I guess you also will not really reach out to many people for help because you don't want to burden them, or you don't know, oh, actually, is it, you know when someone's like, oh, do you need help? Are you all right? And the expectation is, no, I'm fine, it's all good. You know, people don't expect it to get that far.
But fam, you've gotten all up in my finances now.
But how will you help someone who's been, unless you're going to give someone a job?
So don't ask, exactly, don't ask. And I'm sorry if I'm being, like, I know how society works, but it don't make sense. I think people are
just showing, that's how people show concern or care, and I think you can show concern or care without having a solution. It's just letting someone know you're there.
Yeah, but if I've got a practical problem and you're highlighting it and rehashing it, you know, I need more. And like you said, someone saying, oh, I'll keep a lookout for jobs for you.
Yeah, I mean, at the bare minimum, yeah.
And that doesn't happen. People just want to say, oh, sorry. I want to know if you're crying on the voice note or whatever. So my point is, they asked me even about Selina's financial situation. This is the same person. So it's not only asking about my situation, you're asking about my overall situation. And it's just like, where are we going with this? You know, you ain't gonna give me, you know. So I segue to when I launched an e-commerce franchise, and I was looking out for these same people who were that concerned about my financial situation to see if they're actually gonna buy. What do they do? Just observe, look, observe. So I just think we're in this weird world where the truth is most of our friendships ain't real. They're just like, they're just like TV programs. You are a TV program to your friends, and they want to see the drama and they want to just switch off, and that's all they want.
But then people like that, really, they're okay, we have reached kissing my teeth status on YouTube. I think that people like that, maybe they're more acquaintances than friends.
But they call themselves friends, it's confusing. And they call themselves sister and brother, it's confusing, messes with my head.
Yeah, but I think those are just terms that, as you say, they're kind of diluted now, aren't they? So, I don't think we can really... You can't control how other people see things. You can only control how you see things and your expectations. So at the end of the day, when you have a business, it's not just your friends that are going to make it a success. You have to sort of move beyond that, find your target audience, market, put efforts into all that kind of stuff. So really, maybe you should never even have the instinct of relying on friends and family to purchase stuff. At the bare minimum, they should support from an encouragement perspective, from constructive criticism, from sharing things, from telling a friend, from bigging you up, you know, when you're down, letting you know, oh, everyone goes through ups and downs, you'll be okay, I'm here if you need someone to chat to, all that kind of stuff, because that's what a friend should do. Financially, I think if they do support you, it's a bonus, it's great. If they don't, as long as they're doing all the other bits, you can't hold the financial things against them, because everyone's finances are different. And no one should kind of have to explain that. So
no, I agree.
Whilst it's something that maybe you'd think a friend or family member would do, I don't think it should be held against anyone, especially if they're doing the necessities that a friend would always do in terms of supporting you. So it's a tough one. Look, you can't judge people, everyone's going through their own stuff, but all you can do is manage your own expectations and so you're not disappointed. And just, you know, put all your energy into making your business a success or whatever it is you're doing a success, and then you have no regrets. That's really all you can do. You can't put that pressure on other people, and you can't rely on other people, because then you're just gonna get pissed off if those people don't come through. So it's a tough one. No,
I agree with all those practical you know, steps and that viewpoint. I do agree.
But it is frustrating when someone's sort of saying this but doing that, because they're not matching up, are they?
No, it comes down to ego, you know. I think, oh, I want you to perceive me as this bro or sis or friend, but the actual work, they don't want to do the work. So there's always an imbalance, and they just want to make sure that you're believing that they are this, that they said they were, while they actually act like this. It's like kind of just saying, you can't see me. That's what you people are doing when you're saying you are this and you're acting like that. Like, it's very obvious, you know what I'm saying, but not everybody is going to pull you up on it, because it's just like, you know, is it worth the energy or the time?
Well, I think this is the thing, like, and also,
like you said, invest it in your business. Go on.
I feel like things change with time as well. Friendships change. Sometimes you really get on with people, as you said at the start of this. Sometimes people change and kind of things fade away. You might come together, you might not. Like, it's a fluid situation, and I don't think that should be held against people, because it's natural. It kind of happens as you grow, and as your priorities change, sometimes that happens too. So yeah, it's a complicated one, but as a friend, or as someone who is sort of claiming to be that friend, that true friend, that person that cares, that is concerned, you have to back it up with the basics that we mentioned before. I think that's what it just comes down to. And yeah, I think people are also allowed to grow in that respect themselves. I know that maybe when I was younger, I probably wasn't as supportive as I could have been of people and their businesses, people who maybe were more entrepreneurially minded at a younger age, where maybe I wasn't understanding of all the stuff they were doing and went through to build their brand. So I'm kind of gutted by that.
But were they your friends though? Because if they're in your phone book, then, you know, that's you're getting towards friend territory. Obviously,
maybe not friends, but like colleagues or acquaintances. I'm kind of gutted that maybe I could have been more supportive than I was. So it's something that now I want to change, having gone through that process myself and knowing how much work it takes. And being a bit more supportive and proactive, even if it is just liking or sharing a post, you know. There's you know, it's basically because it doesn't really make sense, the fact that people don't support, and I think there's just cultural barriers there. Like you said, social media is a certain weird culture where, for example, I had a page on private, and then someone requested to follow, and then they followed and they saw what they saw, and then they unfollowed, and there was no interaction in between. That's really weird.
Yeah, but that's really weird, but really common in social media.
Why? What? It's like literally you just want to be a nosy, you know.
So how do you build?
Parker.
How do you build in these circumstances where connections are evaporating into thin air? You know, and follows are seen as something that's temporary, transient. I may or may not follow. I'm going to follow just to unfollow. You know, all these weird things. So that's why I like spaces like Clubhouse as opposed to Insta, where, you know, people I haven't spoken to for years, they'll request to follow me, and they won't DM me. They won't check on how I'm at, you know, where I'm at. So we do live in this cultural barrier of Big Brother, Truman Show, and we're isolated from each other, even though we're in proximity to each other digitally, if you know what I'm trying to say.
It's this whole social media thing, isn't it? It's the balance of, it's cool because it connects people, but then it's annoying as hell because it connects people who don't have the best intentions.
But how's it social? I don't even want to be in that club. Like, do you know what I mean? Why do you want to be in a club or a social situation where people don't have the best intentions? It's weird. So yeah, I know.
You can't stop it, can you?
I'm not for all that. You know, you guys can have your little fake world. You know, where it's bro, sis, who's got the blue tick or whatever you want to say.
Oh, dear.
It's lonely being on the other side because you're just not, you don't have the proximity. But
it's lonely, but it's less
confusing.
Stress.
Yeah,
it's less stress. Social media is very stressful. Honestly, like,
WhatsApp counts as social media as well. I have to let you know. But
yeah, but that's why, like, on my phone, I turn off all my notifications because it used to give me like anxiety, you know, seeing all the notifications, or if you don't get a notification to something, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want that to control my mindset, and it might be fine for other people, but for me it works not having notifications, and everyone knows I'm notorious for being rubbish at picking up my phone because my phone is always on silent and things like that. So, but that's what I do for my mental health, and I'm not going to apologize for it.
No, I don't. I mean, you know, and all these things are linked, I guess, what you're saying, friends, social media, you know, so sometimes it's like fear of missing out. Not missing out on what? I don't believe that social media is a garden where you can plant many healthy kind of trees. I think you have to use social media with intention, always with intention, and like you said, if you're building something or starting something, then you're going to look further afield than your friends. And in my personal experience, it's the further I look away from, you know, the immediate people I grew up with, the more reception there is. So the internet's helps.
Sometimes strangers are, you know, the most supportive and kindest people in the world. Yeah, it's hard. As I think, as you say, if there's an intention behind something on social media, then usually you find people of similar mindset, like similar groups, or in a group with like-minded people, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to say as well, I think there is this big thing about everyone feeling like they're the only person in the world. You know, you've got like these little toddlers who just wander around and they're about to bump into you. Do you know what I mean? Or they don't know, they just think that they're the very centre of the world.
Bless them.
Yeah? So in psychology, I learned that's like egocentric behaviour, you know, your ego's developing apparently. And I think for most people, you are an actor in their play, so it's their world, and then you just live in it. Does that make sense?
But so go on,
I just want to say, so that means in their mind, you may just exist for a purpose and you don't need reciprocity. You know what I'm saying? So you exist to give to them, to support their world. And reciprocity is the last thing on their mind, because you're just not them. You're not you're just an actor in the play. And that's something that we're struggling with. It's a crisis, because one human to another, we don't have enough empathy. Even people that claim to know you well, as brothers, sisters, friends, whatever you want to say.
I agree with you to an extent, but I do think, like, you can't really avoid that, can you? Because it's your life, so you're always going to be the focal point of your life. But I think you have to be able to see the value in other people and appreciate them as well, and they have their own life. Like, sometimes I'm on a train or a bus or walking in town and I'm like, oh my gosh, everyone that I'm walking by literally has their own story and their own family and their own cousins and their own, you know, school, you know, like when you start multiplying that, there are millions and billions of stories in the world and people, and it's quite like, it's amazing. Everyone's got their own little thing going on and their own issues and their own loves and dislikes and food. Do you know what? It's just, when you start thinking about that, it's crazy. But it's just as humans, it's how we connect, and that's kind of what brings us all together. We all do kind of need each other in some way, shape or form. So whilst it's our own life, our own play, as you put it, if there's no one else in the play, it's a pretty boring and crap play to watch or to act in, isn't it? So it's a balance.
Yeah. I wanted to add something. Go on, sorry, were you finished?
No, I was just thinking we've gone off on a tangent again.
Slightly. I mean, because I want to say, you know, I want to reframe the word stranger. Almost like we're you know, we grow up and we're taught never talk to strangers, as if inherently strangers are the ones who have bad intentions for us, when in reality, when we look at the statistics around most crimes, right, serious crimes, they're usually perpetrated by
people in the home,
people you know, family, friends, XYZ. So
yes, but as a child,
no, not just as a child, as an adult, as a human.
I know, but I'm saying we tell children not to talk to strangers because they have no
reference point.
No reference point, no sort of gut instinct, no like...
But this is my thing. So I think part of the reason why people grow into adults and they get hurt seriously by people they know mainly is because they have that thing in their mind of, this is my friend, this is my boyfriend.
They won't do anything.
Yes, when the truth is, proximity isn't the decider on like-mindedness or good intentions.
Agreed.
So I want to completely reframe this concept around strangers. People do stick to who they know, but who you know isn't necessarily who cares about you truthfully when it comes down to the crunch.
Well, who wants the best for you? I mean, sometimes people, you know, that whole thing, friend close, enemies close. I'm not saying your friends are your enemy. That whole frenemy thing going on, and that's just the longest and most toxic thing in the world. You won't know where you're going. You'll think all this stuff is in your head and it's not. So yeah, if you're in that kind of situation, just get out. That's my advice. And you know, time always tells in those situations. Yeah,
it does. And I would say, you know, I'm revamping my approach to this, also through apps like Clubhouse, where you talk to people and get to hear their mind, because you're getting to hear people's minds a lot quicker, and their guard is down a lot faster. You can see who's like-minded and who isn't, and it looks like everybody, but it's just, it comes from areas and stuff that you never expect. People from different countries, cultures, backgrounds, right? And you know, I say all that to say that when it comes to, I say all that to say, I say all that.
You find connections in the strangest places, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, and we overrate people we know. We overrate their value. We do. We overrate it. Society has got it wrong again. You know, we need to flip it on our head in terms of the way that we interact with people.
It's like that whole thing of you can't choose your family, you love them, but you might not like them, isn't it? I'm not saying I feel that about my own family. I'm just saying that's a sort of phrase or theory that's bandied about sometimes.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just because the thing is, you know, your mum will probably follow you on Facebook, and then you don't want your mum to follow you, but your mum's usually interested in what's going on.
So she should be. She's your mum.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, apart from that, like what I'm trying to say is, people that you know in real life, there will be sections of you that they won't even want to engage with whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? And then they will be surprised when those sides of you manifest in different areas. Wow, your business just turned over £1 million. Congratulations, how did you do? Wow, you know, they won't engage with these things whatsoever, whereas strangers will, you know. So people that you know, overrated. And like Selena said, you know, redirect your energy and your expectations, and that's where I'm at, and that's my advice to you, you know, to you guys out there.
I think, look, if you are just who you are and you try your best to, you know, be a good person and you do your best to be kind for other people, eventually in life you're going to find people who are like-minded, and you'll have your little group of friends that, you know, you can rely on. It might change with time, it might not. it's fluid, but I know I've always struggled making friends, and it's only now, much older, that I actually have, you know, the few
because
friends
you know
I
who
have.
you are a bit more as well.
Yeah, I think that's
because
a big thing.
when you're younger, like, you can be pulled left and right and forward and be around everybody.
And you just don't know what's important to you, and
your
you
boundaries.
want everyone to like you, or you know, you don't trust people, so it's like you have a guard up. But it's hard growing up and finding friends, and I've always kind of found having the few ones that you know you can rely on is a lot more rewarding and just special than having loads and loads of friends that kind of you have maybe those acquaintancey kind of relationships with. But many people are, you know, everyone's different, everyone has what they prefer.
Yeah, and look, not all that glitters is gold. So yes, on the surface it looks like so and so has, you know, they're popular and that, but how well do they know you? You know, and when it comes to the crunch, when it comes to taking action, not many people are willing to do that. That you know. Yeah. Right. So yeah, that's just my takeaway from this.
I think the people that you can call at 1 AM in the night and you need their help are the people that are gonna support your business. That's what I think. Like, if you have any friends that you know you can do that, and it's not gonna be like, even if they're a bit grumpy that you've woken them up, which I probably would be, but if like I would be there for someone if they needed me, sort of thing, the grumpiness will fade. Those are the people, you know, those are the people that you know will be there for you and will support you in whatever way they can, whether that is financially or just being there to listen to you, sharing your posts, all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
because you know, friendships are not about convenience. No relationship should be about convenience.
Very wise words.
There you go. So if you're in an inconvenient situation, then you'll see who's your friend, because it's not convenient to spend money in the middle of the month for someone's, or you know. So if you've never been in an inconvenient situation with somebody, then you don't know whether they're really your friend or not. And most people will fail that test, I'm afraid. So that's my.
I'm sure I failed it at some points in life, you know. Like,
but maybe you did. Maybe you were never. It's different though, because maybe you were never. Maybe they try to put you in a position. You're my friend, and they try to expect. They try to expect. You know, it's different.
Maybe. I guess my point is that we can all be better.
Yeah,
even if you're not 100% at one point, you can grow and be that better friend. If there's someone that you do really value and you feel like, oh crap, I've let them down a little bit, you can come back from that. You can make the effort and make things better, you know.
Sometimes, rarely though. Gaslighting
if you're like in it proper,
ego. That's all. My one word is ego. A lot of people want to believe that they're the hero in the story because it's their play and you're just an actor.
Back to the play.
So if you say, hey, there's something that you know you're doing which is testing the validity of our relationship, people do not want to hear that. So they'd rather gaslight.
But if your friends,
why are you being sensitive?
Even if they're a bit taken aback initially, if you are friends, you should be able to talk about it and either reach the conclusion of this is not going to work, or you make the effort to make it work. Like,
yeah, I get all that, but trust me,
you have to be able to have that conversation if you're friends.
I get that, but we're just in this where we are in modern life. Maybe the Gen Zs have it better. It's more online, more cohesive. I don't know, mate, but
I don't know. Maybe that makes it more tricky.
It is tricky, and I will say, you know, as I say, overrated. Develop yourself. Whatever you're doing, develop yourself, and whoever's meant to be around you will come. But people are not wrong for being humans and feeling wronged or slighted when somebody who, in every other respect, you know,
claims to be this friend but doesn't follow through.
So
yeah, it sucks.
You guys won't agree with this. I know there's people because it's friendship means different things to different people as well. So, but I want to hear what you've got to say. You know, we can have discussions in the comments.
Yeah, it would be interesting to hear the different opinions.
So yeah, I got passionate, a little bit ranty, but sometimes it's good to get that side of me, I guess. So that's been Love and Cut, people. Thank you for watching, especially those who made it to the end. We will be back next week at 6 o'clock. Definitely like, share and subscribe if you're feeling the vibe. Just switching it up, keep them engaged.